Hello and welcome back, guys, to the channel. And today we are basically going to be enrouting the whole of the MMC footprint strategy from its roots up to its leaves, right? So we're going to break the whole thing down, how we do our analysis on the daily basis in both the short term and long term, and what's our end product from that analysis, right? So before I get into it, make sure you like, subscribe if you haven't, turn that bell button on for notifications, and let's dive into it, right? So this is basically going to be called some sort of wizard analysis. Why? Because the MMC footprint strategy allows us to be in the uttermost right part of the markets almost every single time. Why? Because we keep our trading simple, right? We follow uh, only three simple steps that allows us to be um, at our best in the correctness and consistency in the charts, right? And those three things being structure, S&D, right, and confirmation, right? So these are the three uttermost important things that I've always been talking about and still will continue to be talking about in this channel throughout the MMC footprint strategy and how it works and like everything in it, right? So for the last couple of months, couple of weeks or whatever, we've been very bullish on DXY, which is the dollar currency index, right? So this dollar strength has been put into place for us for quite a while, right? And as you can see, right, I've been having these analysis. Uh, this was like the break here. So this was like Tuesday of July 2022, right? So since July until today, it's 24th of October, right? We've been right in the utmost part on the dollar. Why? Because of the three simple things that we follow to analyze how the dollar has been going, how has it been progressing, and how could we trade it, right? So we've been having this market screaming to us its bullishness for quite a while, and as you can see, guys, right, price has constantly been making high highs and high lows throughout, along with this breaks of structure and grabbing of liquidity on its way up, right? And as we have been analyzing it, right? So it's the same thing that's been applying itself over and over again, right? We have a structural impulse, right? An S&D zone and an area of confirmation, right? At the S&D zone, in which price is, like technically just gonna drift back down, give us that entry there and take place along with us, for all this time, right? So this schematic here is exactly what has been happening inside these charts. Now we're gonna pass through different pairs and see how we've been catching them trades, throughout this era, right? And as you can see, this is my watch list, guys. I mostly trade the USD pairs. On the JPY part, I've been almost only trading the pound JPY, because of the yen weakness and pound strength. So it is what it is. But so far, we're just going to be passing through and see how our analysis has been going, right? So we've been having this bearish Euro USD market for quite a while. Why? Because of the dollar strength that's forcing the euro to come down in a series of lower highs and lower lows. So this is exactly what has been happening here for the last couple of months, as you can see, right? So since these breaks here, I've been, speaking about this in this channel for quite a while now. You can, I mean, if you're actually new to the channel, all of this could be, making a very little sense in your head, but it's not a problem, right? You just gotta have to start from the beginning of the MMC footprint strategy until now. Only by that you can have a true conscious and a fully understanding of what we've been doing and what we've been saying and what we've been following throughout these charts uh, all day in and out. So the market has been screaming to us this bearish move, right, with a series of higher lower lows and lower highs being put into place, and leaving us a bunch of bearish opportunities that have been presenting themselves to us. So from there, the recent charts, right, we did have this break lower. So this is like the Euro USD on the daily time frame. We had these breaks lower, and from these breaks we had this perfect supply zone right here. That price did go and mitigate, and once this mitigation was done, we were now valid to go for for the short entries, right? So I'm a day trader, right? So I don't particularly trade the daily time frame, but I start my analysis there and end up here, like since this area here, right? So we had these, like high, low, high, right? And when was this low broken? Right here. So from this break of this low, right? Once price had tapped our um, our supply zone, this whole area became a confirmation box for us, right? So this was the area that we were entitled to seek for that confirmation that price is no longer going bullish in terms of that intermediary bullishness for the pullback, but it's now then returning to its long-term short bias, which is actually the true trend, right? So from this area, since this break here, so we've had like this break, that retest, that break, that retest, that break, that retest, and all of these areas have been presenting themselves to us in terms of tremendous amounts of entries that we were able to position ourselves into, right? So with a series of just following three simple things, right? So structural S&D confirm, right? Same things, right? So there's your structural impulse pushing bearish with this break here, right? And from that break, what do we have, right? We have an S&D zone there that's presented to us in a very clear manner. And from that S&D zone, we now have the confirmation area in which we just want to see price go bullish, change into bearish, and then, like leaving us with these beautiful little entries to take price short, right? So that's the idea that we've been putting into place, right? That's how we keep our charts simple as MMC footprint strategy traders, right? So speaking of that, right, I would like to have a little breakdown of these trades that I take, so you guys don't see it as some kind of rocket science, right? So this is like, I've shifted now to the gold chart. So this is gold on the 4 hour, and as you can see, we're still having the same things, right, happening over and over again, right? So what I'm doing here is exactly what I was doing in the other pair, the Euro USD, right? Because of the dollar strength, uh, gold has been forced to go bearish, right? Creating a series of lower lows and lower highs, which is exactly what's happening here, right? So you have a series of a low, a high, a lower low, probably a lower high, which is just going to make that beautiful mitigation here and take price lower, with these lows as our next liquidity runs. But with that being the case, right, let's go down to some, let me just break down this most recent trade that I took. This was Friday. In the New York session, right? So this is like the 15-minute where I mostly take my my analysis from, right? So what we had here was this beautiful little thing, right? So price was pushing bearish from these areas here, right? As you can see, with this breaks here, right? With this break here, right? Creating that pullback and then the break again, right? The break here. So with these breaks, price was now pushing bearish, but lo and behold, price after creation of this low, right? So let's just use this, right? Price creates a low, a high, and a low. Lo and behold, price comes up and breaks this high, which is a what? A break of structure, right? So the market is now shifting from bearish to bullish. Lo and behold, we had the retest, which was the first entry. I believe this was like the it was on Friday in the London session. I do not trade the London session. As you can see, it was like 11:30 a.m. right? So this was like the first entry that made that run, but it is what it is. Sessions are just sessions, right? So after this end of the London session run, price made a pullback on its way back to the entry level as usual to give us a re-entry, right, for us New York session traders to take price higher, right, in its overall bias towards new highs. Now, lo and behold, let's now drop time frames and see how we did take this trade, right? So I take my trades, I execute my trades from the 1 minute chart, right? So this was like the area. Let's zoom in and see uh, how everything happened here. Boom. So we had price, pushing. Let me use this highlighter. So we had price pushing bearish, right, with these breaks, right, with these breaks, right, and lo and behold, this was the final or last down move, in which from the Wyckoff strategy, we call it the spring. So once the spring was made in a Wyckoff sense, right? And if you don't know what Wyckoff means, then make sure you go back and watch my Wyckoff videos. They'll make a lot of sense and get you right on track to understand everything that, I'll be saying from here. So once the spring was made, price now made its way higher with what? With a break of structure, right? As you can see, the high was clearly broken, and price now initiated a higher high instead of what? A higher low. Lo and behold, from that area, so that was our structural impulse. Now, from the structural impulse, the next thing that we look for is the demand zone, right? The last down move before the up move. Lo and behold, that was our beautiful demand zone, which was mitigated perfectly with a perfect little entry to take price bullish from here. Now, so this is like the 1 minute, right? So price made a high and then came back down. So from coming back down, if I was trading the London session, right? So we had price breaking low, breaking low, breaking low, and the spring, right? The last down move. And from this area, price made an intermediary high, comes back down, right? And then leaves. With that leaving, price break structure. So from the break of structure, what do we wait for, right? The pullback down towards what? An S&D zone. So this right here was the entry in the London session, right? So this was the London session entry that could have seen me take price higher during the London session with this high as my next liquidity run or the take profit area. So from that area, let's just say, okay, so let's take the trade here. The stop loss below the low and the take profit up there. So this was like a 66 pip take profit target with 15 pip stop loss, which is a 1 to 4 RR trade, right? So this was like a 1 to 4 RR trade that was seeing the TP taken there, right? So this is just an intermediary trade, right? So the overall take profit targets were up there, but I'm not going to talk about them. Let's break down now the real entry, right? The true entry that I myself did take, right? So so let's go back to the 2-hour and let me show you guys something, right? So boom, right? So from this area, we had price tapping this zone here and coming back down and then leaving some sort of reaction in this zone. But I wasn't ready yet to go totally bearish from here. Why? Because of the the recent dollar weakness, right? So I knew that price was going to go bullish from here and price is still going to run bullish from here. I'm looking at these highs right here, right? But I'm not going to speak about that. Let's just break down the trade and stick to the basics. So I did have my take profit target here, right? So I believe was this the 1 hour? Yeah, it was. So I had my TP set on this this little guy here, right? Oh, so this last up move before the down move, right? And if you don't know what that is, it's a supply zone. So that's where my TP was resting, right? And from this area here, right, in the 15-minute, we clearly saw that there's an indication of price going bullish, right? From the London session, right? Because I came in the New York session and analyzed everything from there. So from the London session, there was a clear indication that, okay, so price is ready to go bullish. So what I was waiting for was this, right? So what did we have next, right? So price, so from making this high and this low, what did price do? Price came back up and took out this high right here, right? So this is a break of structure. So okay, so now we have a break of structure. What should we do as MMC footprint traders, right? So we now have a structural impulse. Now we should look for what? A supply zone, a supply and demand zone, which in this case it's a demand zone, right? And then from that zone, the last part is confirmation. Okay, so let's wait for these two more things to happen because the first one has already happened, right? So we now have a break of structure. Lo and behold, price price makes its way back down, right? So with price making its way back down, right, towards what? Now the S&D zone shifts here, right? The demand zone, right? So let's clear these. I think I'm gonna clear the zone too, right? I don't know, should I just like leave it? No. Okay, so let's clear those and see. Boom. So the last down move, right, before the up move. Boom, right? So this is like the last down candle before the whole thing, right? There. Look at what price comes to do, right? Price comes down and taps it. Okay, so price has now tapped my zone. What should I wait for? Lo and behold, we wait for the confirmation part. Confirmation in terms of what? since price was pushing bearish for the pullback, we now want to see price break structure and presents itself in a bullish sort of manner to take the entries to the top side, right? What we want to see is the structural breaks, right? Leaving us entry 1 and probably entry 2 and even an entry 3 if price wants to do that. So let's go and see if that happened, right? Okay, so price now comes back down, right? Okay, so price makes a low from this high, comes back to pullback, makes a brand new low from what? From this high, comes up, takes out this high. So what happened is this, right? What happened is simply this, right? Boom. With price taking out this high, is this high being taken out? What should you wait for, right? A pullback to the S&D zone to take your entry and go bullish from there. Lo and behold, price comes back down to where? The last down move before the up move. Price comes down, leaving us with this entry and going bullish. Now, from here, right? So from here, this is where my entry was lying. My entry is right here. So this whole thing just came up back here because of, you know, switching time frames or whatever, but it doesn't matter. So this line here was my entry, right? My stop was right here below the low, and my overall take profit target was where, right? So let's go to the 15-minute and and see, you know, like, because price moves from place to place, right? So my overall take profit target was here, which is the last up move before the whole down move started, which was a 1 to 17 trade with a 17 pip stop loss and a 300 pip take profit target, and that was how I took my trade, guys. So I hope this video made a lot of sense to you guys, and if it did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you haven't, turn that bell button on for notifications, and until the next time, guys, stay safe and